Hi friends, welcome to Beautifully Bookish Bethany. In today's video, I'm going to talk about my reading plans for May. So I'm not entirely sure how this month is gonna go because April so far has been a much slower reading month than usual for me, which means I have not yet gotten to everything that I planned to read in April. So, likely what is going to happen is some of the books, particularly some of the NetGalley arcs that were on my TBR for April, are going to get rolled over into May, and then I may not get to all of the things that I was originally planning to read in May. It's a whole thing. I'm going to do my best, and hopefully May will be a little bit of a better reading month in terms of how quickly I'm able to get to things. So basically what I'm telling you is the TBR you are about to see is probably overly ambitious, but these are the things that I am hoping to pick up in the month of May. First up, every month my patrons get to vote on a book that we read together for book club, and we have a different theme every month. For May, the theme was a middle grade book written by a BIPOC author, so Black, Indigenous, or person of color author, and the book that won, I'm so excited to read. It is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. I'm actually pretty thrilled with this one. I have heard nothing but great things about it, and I'm really excited to get to it. It is a debut middle grade fantasy about a girl who is looking for her older brother who's disappeared and discovers there's this world of like witchcraft and supernatural things. I'm very excited for this. So this is the book we're going to be reading for book club this month. Every month my patrons are also entered into a raffle where the winner gets to select a book from my TBR that they want to see me read and review in the coming month. As I'm filming this, I've not yet heard back from the winner, so once I know what book she selects, I will put it right here. That is another book that I will be reading in May. Then of course we have all of the other book clubs and read-alongs that I am hosting or co-hosting. So I've got 3 books for those. With Ashley from Bookish Realm, we're finishing up our Song of the Lioness Quartet read-along with the very last book in the series. We're going to be reading Lioness Rampant. And for May, the live show is going to be back over on Ashley's channel. Very much looking forward to this. It's been a really fun reread. Then for the Indigenous Romance read-along, where we're reading a romance novel by an Indigenous author every month, for May, we're doing a YA romance. We're going to be reading Hearts Unbroken by Cynthia Latish Smith, and I've heard really fantastic things about this one. It follows a Native American teen girl who has dumped her first boyfriend for mocking Native people. She works at the school newspaper, and there start to be some racial issues coming up that she's trying to fight and investigate. Meanwhile, a romance sparks between her and one of her colleagues on the newspaper who is Lebanese American. Again, I've heard really great things about this, looking forward to reading it, and the link will be down below if you want to join us for the live show discussion of this one. Lastly, for the Blades and Bodice Rippers book club, it is Leanna's month to pick a book for us to read together. So we're going to be reading Shadow and Claw by Jean Wolfe. This is actually 2 shorter novels bound up together, and I think it's like a modern classic of fantasy. I don't know a whole lot about it, to be perfectly honest. I just know it came out, when was this published? 1980. Okay, so it's like from 1980 and 1981 is when the books were originally published. Again, I don't know much about this. This was her pick, so book club is going to be over on Leanna's channel for May, but I will be reading that. Then a buddy read that I'm doing, also with Leanna from Leanna's library, is The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden. We're finally going to be finishing up the Winter Night trilogy, which I've been meaning to do for a long time. Really looking forward to this. We'll be reading that together. I have loved both of the first 2 books, and I hear that the conclusion is awesome. And then the rest of the books on this TBR are books that I have for review in one form or another. One that I'm really excited to get to was sent to me from Tor.com. This is The Chosen and the Beautiful by Nevo. It's a slightly magical reimagining of The Great Gatsby, where our heroine is Asian American. So I've heard some really good things about this. Also, the cover obviously is stunning. And I thought the timing was interesting because I've been thinking about doing a reread of The Great Gatsby because when I read it in high school, I wasn't the biggest fan, and I'm interested in revisiting it now and seeing how I do. So my plan is to read The Great Gatsby and read The Chosen and the Beautiful for a reading vlog, so look forward to that. And then I do actually also have another secret reading vlog, but I'm not going to tell you about that. I'm always like working on secret projects, which is fun. Other books that I'm hoping to get to this month are Blood Like Magic by Lizelle Sambury. Lizelle is one of our own author tubers. I'm really, really excited for this. It is her debut, and it's like a dark YA fantasy about a girl who is a witch, but to sort of undergo the ceremony to become a full witch, she's assigned a task, and the task, I believe, is to kill her first love. So very interesting, very dark looking. Cannot wait to read this one. And then the last physical arc that I have is Star Eater by Kirsten Hall. This was also sent to me from Tor.com, and it's another like pretty dark fantasy that I'm intrigued by. It seems like this book has a lot of interesting ideas it's exploring in terms of feminism and like gender roles and the cost of magic. The thing about this though is it includes some kind of cannibalism, but like for magical purposes, which is interesting. So yeah, another one that I'm intrigued by and hoping to pick up in May. Then I also have some e-arcs from NetGalley that I'm hoping to get to. Again, I'm not entirely sure I'll get to all of these this month, especially because I also have the final round of books I'm reading to judge for the Vivians coming through in May. So we'll see what happens, but I'm gonna throw them up here. First up, I have The Return of the Sorceress by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is a novella from an author that I really love. I think this one is more fantasy. I don't know much about the story, but I know that I love pretty much everything I've read from her. I've got This Poison Heart by Kaylin Barron. So it says, darkness blooms in this new contemporary fantasy about a girl with a unique and deadly power. Briseis, I'm not sure, but we're gonna say Briseis, has a gift. She can grow plants from tiny seeds to rich blooms with a single touch. When Briseis' aunt dies and wills her a dilapidated estate in rural New York, Brie and her parents, Brie is, that's an easier Brie and her parents decide to leave Brooklyn behind for the summer. Hopefully there, surrounded by plants and flowers, Brie will finally learn to control her gift. But their new home is sinister in ways they never could have imagined, and it comes with a specific set of instructions. What? An old school apothecary, and a walled garden filled with the deadliest botanicals in the world that can only be entered by those who share Brie's unique family lineage. Anyway, so there's like all of this, like this whole book sounds really fascinating. I liked but didn't love her first book, Cinderella is Dead, but there were things that I really enjoyed about it, and the premise of this is super intriguing, so I'm looking forward to that. Then I have The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels by India Holton. This is a historical romance. I just couldn't resist. Hopefully it's good. I seem to be kind of hit and miss with this type of historical romance. They're not always what I'm hoping they're gonna be, but it looks like a good time. I also have The Tangleroot Palace by Marjorie Liu. This is a collection of fantasy short stories from the author of Monstrous, which I really love, and the cover is beautiful. Honestly, like the cover was part of what sold me on requesting this. Then The Queer Principles of Kit Webb by Kat Sebastian is another historical romance that looks great. I've been wanting to read some more from Kat Sebastian, so this looks fun. And then lastly, I've got You're So Dead by Ash Parsons, which I'm very into. This is like a YA mystery thriller. It follows teen influencers who go to a festival akin to like the Fire Festival, and then murders start happening. So definitely looks very intriguing. Oh, the one other thing that I have, let me find it. The one other thing I have is an indie book for review. This is Spirit Warriors by Christopher Howard. He reached out to me to see if I'd be interested in reviewing it. It's a debut YA kind of urban fantasy that looked interesting, so I'm gonna read this one as well. Okay, so that is it. We will see what happens. Again, as I said, I don't think I'm gonna get to everything that was on my official TBR for April either, so some of this is gonna have to be a little bit flexible, but I will do my best to get to as many of these things as possible. Talk to me in the comments down below. Let me know any of your thoughts or feelings on anything I talked about in this video. And for your question of the day, just tell me something about your reading plans for May. What are you excited to read? Are there new releases? Are you getting ready for summer? Do you have specific things you want to read, or just kind of what you're in the mood for? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more, and if you want to support the work of the channel, check out the Patreon linked down below, or check out channel memberships. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.